Okay, we pick up our final scan that we're doing retouching on at this point here. This is what I'm trying to do. We're trying to keep this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Plus, we're trying to keep the 6th person, but moving him here. And the 7th person, and moving her over this guy's shoulder, which means all the people in orange right now are ultimately going to go away. So I've already started this document in Photoshop, and I'm at this point. Let's just say that I started with the background, I duplicated it once, and then I went ahead and duplicated it again. And then I've used the quick selection tool to make a mask on these people, and I came into the quick mask mode just by hitting Command Q to zoom in and take care of a few more details, like getting rid of this woman's shoe that's down here between this guy's legs, and this person's shawl down here, and another random shoe, and some other things. So at this point, I'm ready to say I think that this is a workable thing. Hit Q to get back out of the quick mask. And while I'm on this top layer, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to tell it to add a layer mask. Okay, so at this point, if I just wanted to kind of see what I've got, I could hit a new layer and I could come over to the foreground color, and by clicking on this little black box, I'm just going to slide these arrows up when it looks all black. And I'm going to pick a bright reddish pink. And then I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to go up to Edit, pull down to Fill with the foreground color. And for right now, I'm going to just put this underneath here just to see what I've got. And I think things look fine. There's a few spots where I've got some white flecking out by this guy's ear, a little bit by his hair here, and around this very frizzy hair that we have up here. But I think that's going to be fine because there's nothing actually going to be behind any of those areas. So this is looking okay. I'm going to go ahead and hide this one. So at this point right now, the original background, I'm going to turn the eyeball off on that. This top layer has my mask for just the people who are permanently staying in their place. This layer right here is the one I'm going to mess up in a second. So I'm going to go click on it. But before I do anything like cloning out these people, I need to make a copy of this guy. I'm going to go up here and just select him, but I need to make sure I'm doing it on this layer because that's the full photograph, not on this layer that already has a mask because he's already masked out, so that wouldn't be copying anything. And I'm just going to go up to Edit and pull down to Copy, and then Edit, Paste, and I'm going to change the name of this guy to be just called Guy, and I'm going to hide him. I'm going to go back to this layer here, which is the uncorrupted background layer, and I'm going to grab a copy of this woman, and I'm going to do the same thing. Go up to Edit and pull down to Copy, go up to Edit, pull down to Paste. And you can probably tell by the icon who's on it, but I'm going to call her woman, and I'm going to hide her. So let's go ahead and do most of the big work by messing up this background copy right now. So because these people are selected with the mask on top, they should be protecting, again, the people I want to keep. I could just come over here and I could, on this layer, just start painting with white. This would be one of the fastest ways to do this, so that sounds good to me. Let's just go ahead and start to get rid of, and since in this case, this guy already has his own layer, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to come on down in here, and I'm going to paint with white. There. I'm going to paint in white around her. Get rid of her down in here, and I could, oops, and the rest of this person over here. And if I wanted to, I could zoom in. I can see, for example, that this guy's ears aren't quite perfect. They got this little black fleck around it. Just in case I find that distracting, I could go get, I could go to the top layer with my mask on it, and I could go ahead and grab these people. And on this particular one here, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm not on the people, but I'm on the mask. And anything that's black on the mask means don't include it. So if I was to get a very small brush here and load it up with some black paint, I could paint a little bit around this guy's ear to get rid of that black line. And I suppose there's this line on his coat. I could go ahead and get rid of that. So I could kind of hunt around the picture and I could find a few other spots that I wanted to get rid of something on. Maybe it's Skull's face right here. And since, oops, I ate into her coat a little bit in order to get part of that black line, I can go switch over to white paint and I can bring that part of the coat back. And let's just say for right now that that's fine. So now all I need to do is bring back my guy and my woman. So I'm going to go back to the guy layer, turn him on. I'm going to grab the guy with the move tool, top left thing. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to move him. And I'm going to put him maybe right about here. I'm going to zoom in just to see what I've got. Okay, I've got this little tuft poking over this guy's shoulder. I'm going to put him here about this, or I could use the little arrow keys if I wanted to tap him around. I'm going to say that that's fine. So now while I'm on the guy, I'm going to go get the clone tool. There's this little thing right in here. So I'm going to option click up here and I'm going to clone right there. And again, since she is on top, perfectly masked out with this mask, what I was doing, I'm on the layer below it, so I can't possibly be hurting her. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to option click and I'm going to try to get rid of a little bit there. And then I'm going to come back on this guy's shirt. The big problem here is that I really want to go ahead and get rid of this guy's hair that's popping up and replace it with this kind of shirt color over here. So I'm going to get the clone tool, I'm going to shrink it down, some kind of more fitting on his shirt. I'm going to option click over here and I'm going to go ahead and just start to paint right along in there. Try that again. Reset this to be black and white, and I'm going to paint it with just a little bit of white right in here. And now I think that that's okay for his shirt. He's way in the background, he's going to be covered up, but I rebuilt his shirt where this guy's forehead had been on it. Now I'm going to go look at the woman real quick. Well, a couple things about her. I think, for starters, I need to make a mask on her. So on this layer, I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go ahead and tilt to make a mask. And then if I got some black paint, or actually I could use the quick selection tool. Let me throw that layer away, delete that, so it still just leaves the woman. And I'm going to go get the quick selection tool, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to see how good of a job it can do to at least see about getting rid of his face, and down in through his coat, and this lapel over here, and maybe even a little bit more there. Oops, got her hair, so I'm going to hold down the option button so that the tool changes to have a minus symbol on it. And I'm going to rub it back across her hair, because I want to definitely try to keep that. And I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to keep using this to see if I can add some of the mask down in there. And I think, oops, this guy's shoe in the background. All right, I'm going to hit Q on that to see what I'm getting rid of. I think for the most part, we're going to say that looks pretty good. I'm going to go get some white paint. Let's see if I can get rid of that little bit of the red. And this little part over in here. And otherwise, I think that's pretty good. So now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click Mask, which should go ahead, oops, hit Q, and then, oops, I have everything selected but her. So if that's the case, I need to hit Command-Shift-I, or go up to select the inverse. So now it's her. And then again, if I hit the mask command, it should get rid of most of the other things on the page. This is great. Again, black is where I want to keep her on the mask in this particular case. White's what I want to get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and get white paint. Sorry, black paint, and I'm going to go ahead and Get rid of all this, these stray lines up in here. Maybe round out her coat a little bit. I'm not overly worried about this because I don't think it's even going to really show. Maybe this little fleck right in here. Oops, Command Z to undo that. Get rid of just this fleck right there. Now I'm ready to move her into the right place. So if I go grab the picture of her, not the mask of her anymore, but the picture, slide her over. That's great. The only problem is that how she'd been aligned in the picture originally, she was leaning way over to one side, and now that we've lost some of these other people, it looks odd that she's falling down or that she's leaning all by herself. So probably the fastest way to fix this is to go up to Edit, Free Transform. If I'm on the box, it's allowing me to move her. Great. But the other thing that I can do with this is if I come just outside of one of the corners, like this one, you'll see it gets this round kind of hook on it, which means I can push, and I can start to move it to the left, and I'm going to get a little degrees counter. And I think that if I rotated her maybe about, let's just say 15 to 16 degrees, somewhere in there. Anywhere in there would be just fine. And then I hit the return command to activate that. And now I can go back and I can move her even a little bit further over the shoulder. But I want those fingers. I either need the fingers or I need to crop it so that all the fingers are gone. But I'm afraid that's so tight that it's making the skirt stand out and look funny. So I'm going to slide her back a little bit and allow the fingers so that I can have the shape of her. And I'm going to end up just setting her right about there. Zoom in one more time, look to see what I've got. I'm going to decide that probably everything looks good and I don't need to repair anything on her like I did on this guy's chest. So now I am ready to save this as a layered Photoshop file. Save it. And now I'm ready to go ahead and import this thing into my Final InDesign document.